Hello and welcome to the fourth part of my playthrough of Saipan scenario from Pacifc 1941-1945. Okay, I knew this will going to be a long video. I was certain that I am not going to play the entire number of turns because it will probably end shorter, but you can see we are in the turn 10 and well, Americans cleaned most of the island, but it doesn't mean they are going to end in the 1 or 2 turns probably. I am pretty certain that it will take much more time. Okay, so let's go and start with the turn 10. It is 24th of June. Let's make a weather check. 6 and weather is worse in 6. Okay, weather turns to be good again. Nice. So let's go and continue. There isn't much stuff here actually to do because, well, I am simply moving and trying to get Japanese forces. So 1.5, 3, 4.5. I can move here easily and hope they will get rid of them. They will try to push them back, although they are now stronger because they get one more unit, and here I'm pretty certain I will be able to drive them away. I'm getting out of the range of my artillery, which is still gathered there, so this might be a problem. So I will have to rely on my air support and maybe navy support. We will see. The weather is good, so I have no problem with my air support. So that's all when it comes to the movement. Yes, Japanese forces are not counter-attacking. Well, they don't have any forces that they can use to make any counter-attacks. So all we have to do is to launch our attacks, hoping that we will be able to get rid of them. But first, I want to do something with this naval group. They are going to fire at this artillery, trying to get rid of them. And they have +2 because of being heavy artillery, and -1 because of the rough terrain. So it's +1, and I got 5. Wow! So it's +1, so it's 6. And I believe this means that we hit them with 2. Yes, we hit them with 2, so they suffer 2 losses. And this is 1S. Yes, 1S, so they are eliminated. Fantastic. These ships did their job pretty good. Now we can continue. Now let's start here. There is 3 and 4, so that it is 7 plus 5. 7 plus 5 is 13. 13 plus 1 is 14. 14 plus 4 is 18. 18 plus 3 is 21. 21 plus 4 is 25. 25 plus 4 is 29. So I have 29. And they have 1, 4, 6. So it's 29 versus 6. So it will be 5-1. 6-1, 7-1 because of the tanks, 8-1 because of the combat engineers, 6-1 because of the fortification, and 5-1 because of the rough terrain. So it's 5-1, not bad. 8 in the 5-1, just B1. I hope it will be B2, but no, it is B1. So they are moving here. And now it was 29 plus 2 minus 1, 31, 35 verse. Wow! 4 hits! My god! So that's something. And now American losses. There was 610. Sorry, minus 2 and plus 1, so it's 4-5, and 9, 1 loss. Next here, 5, and 8, 12, 15, 19, 19 plus 5, it is 24. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 29. So we have 29 versus 2, 3, and 4. So it's 29 versus 4. It will be 7 to 1. 8 to 1 because of the combat engineers, 7 to 1 because of the fortification, 6 and 5 to 1 because of the mountain. So it's 6 to 1 and 8. B2, great. So they have to retreat 2 hexes, and because of that these mortars are eliminated because they have only 1 strength point, and they have to retreat 2 hexes, so they would have to suffer 2 losses. And because of that they are done. Americans are making their pursuit. Maybe like that. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, that's what I needed. And now let's roll for the losses after combat. It was 29, so it's 26, 30, minus 3, 1, 2, 3, 11, 15, and 9, 1 loss. Japanese units had 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 60, 20, 7, 1 loss for Americans. Okay, and now here. The good thing is that now that they cannot retreat now. So let's give them some hell, and they 3, 7, 10, and 13. 13 plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 13 plus 12. 13 plus 12 will be 29. No, 25. Sorry. 25 versus 2 and 4. So it's 25 versus 4. It is 6 to 1. 6 to 1, 7 to 1 because of the fortification of the combat engineers, 6 to 1 because of the fortification, 5 to 1 because of the woods, and 4 to 1 because of the buildings. So this is 4 to 1 and wow, 2. B3. Okay, so each of these units have to suffer 3 losses because of the unable to retreat. So I think they are all eliminated, but I will make sure. And now let's roll for the losses after combat. Americans had 25, so this is 21, 25, and 1, 2, 3 because of the terrain, so it's 6, 10, and 10, 1 more loss. So they suffer 1 additional loss, apart to these 3 losses because of unable to retreat. And now American losses, it was for 5, 1, 2, 3, 60, 20, and 2 losses on American side. And the final battle. I will use this artillery, so I get 6. I will try to use this naval support. Oh, hell, I missed. So I have to check on which hex we hit. 3. So this is north, so 1, 2, and 3. Oh, this is going to be friendly fire. Let's see. Whoa, no losses, good. But we cannot use them. So we have 6 from the artillery, and now 9, 12, 12 plus 2 is 14, 14, 18 and 22. So it is 22 minus 1, 3 and 6. So it's 4 to 1, 5 to 1 because of the combat engineers, 4 to 1 because of the fortification, and 3 to 1 because of the terrain. So it's 3 to 9 and 3 to 1 and 9. This is B1. Okay, that's not bad. At last they have to retreat 1 hex. Okay, so we made them out of this and pushed them at the edge. No, not bad. So let's roll for losses. It was 21, 25, 1, 2, 3, 6, 10. Sorry, 1, 2, 6. So it's 6, 1 loss. And they had 6, 1, 2, 60, 20, 2 losses for Americans. But at last they are now pushed to the edge. Okay, so that's all when it comes to American attacks. I can now include the losses. So it gets harder for Japanese forces. This unit still remains here, although they have only 1 point left, but they managed to keep their position. So now, Japanese artillery retreats. These 2 battalions, 45, or rather what remains of these battalions. That would be more that would be more precise. And well, nothing else to do for Japanese units, nothing else. So American counterattacks, no place for them. So we are going into the night turn. And now Americans are probably fortifying themselves everywhere, but well, they will launch their attacks here. This is, I think, a good opportunity to get rid of this unit. They will fortify themselves. Now these tanks cannot go into mountain, so this is a problem. They will all make one big stack here. And now they are going to fortify themselves as well. Will move my artillery a bit closer. And that's all when it comes to the American movement. And now let's resolve this attack. I really hope it will be end for them. So 2, 3, 5 and 7 versus 1. So it's 7 to 1, 8 to 1 because of the combat engineers. Wow! Night roll and we get 6, so we get +2. So we have 10 to 1. And now 9 to 1 because of the fortification, 8 to 1 because of the roof terrain, and 7 to 1 because of the buildings. So it is 7 to 1. Oh, hell, 2. Fantastic. So it is B and 4. So they are eliminated. Great. So we captured this position as well. And now let's check for American losses. It is 1, 1, 2, 3 and -2. So it's 2, 3 and 3. 1 loss for Americans. Ha! So they had to pay for this little success. So that's all for Americans. And now Japanese units. I don't think they do anything. Americans are not counterattacking either, so this concludes this day. So, next day ahead, let's make a weather check. 6, weather remains good. Okay, so we can place our Air Force on board. Flip our ships, and okay. So, I think I will move them like that. Or maybe I will keep these 2 battalions here. They will go here. They will there. These stacks might seem to be pretty impressive, but in fact most of these units are already quite weakened. So it won't be a piece of cake, trust me. And they have to attack here with one big stack. So I will use my air support here and the other air support there. So that's all, not much else. All I can do now is to hope that my attacks here will be strong enough to drive them away. That would be great. But I will start here. There is 3, 7, 11, 14, 18, and 22 versus 1 and 3. So it's 7 to 1, 8 to 1 and 9 to 1 because of the stars, and 10 to 1 because of the combat engineers, 9 to 1 because of the roof terrain, and 8 to 1 because of the fortifications. So 8 to 1 and 7. This is B2. So they have to retreat 2 hexes. Good. We are pushing them back quickly. This is a good thing in tanks, that they provide you this nice modifier, and if terrain is not blocking this modifier, they can be really helpful. So now losses. Americans had 21-25, plus 2, minus 2, so the same. 2 losses for Japanese. And Japan had 3, plus 2, minus 2, same result. No losses for Americans. Next, they are attacking here. Can I give them any support? Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. None of my artillery has a range to support them, so I will use these ships to support them. They have, let's see if they hit. They hit. So they have 6 plus aircraft 11. 11 plus 3, so it's 14, and plus 4, it is 18. So I have 18 versus 1 and 2. 18 versus 2 will be 9 to 1, and 8 to 1, and 7 to 1. So it's 7 to 1, and 6, B2. 1, 2, and now Americans are moving like that. So they will cut off their way of retreat. That's what I planned, and now let's check for losses. It was 21-25, minus 2, 11, 15, 9, 1 loss for Japanese units, and there was 2, 5, 1 loss for Americans. So we are still paying with American blood for gaining any major advantage. Now here, tanks are fighting against tanks, so we have these tanks are firing with 0, a miss, and these tanks are firing with minus 3, a miss. Okay, so now let's resolve normal combat. This is 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 16, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, so it's 21. So 21 versus 3 and 4. Okay, 21 versus 4 is 5 to 1, 6 to 1, 7 to 1 because of the tank, 8 to 1 because of the combat engineer, 7 to 1 because of the tank, 6 to 1 because of the fortification, 5 to 1 because of the village, and 4 to 1 because of the roof terrain. So it is 4 to 1 and no, just 9. So B1, so they have to retreat 1 hex, they cannot, so they will suffer 1 loss for each hex they cannot retreat. And now losses, it was 21 plus 2 minus 1, 1, 2, 3, 11, 15, and 10, 2 hits. So they suffer additional 2 hits, and now they had 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 6, no losses for Americans. That's good. Okay, and the final battle. I will use this naval group. Let's see if they can hit. Okay, they hit, so I have 7 plus aircraft, it is 12, 18, 22, 24 and 30. So I have 30 just from artillery and other support. So it's 30 plus 32, 34, 36, 40, and 44. So I have 44 versus 2, 5, 6, and where they are, 6 and 8. Okay, so so this is 5 to 1, 6 to 1 because of the combat engineers, 5 to 1 because of the fortification, 4 to 1 because of the village, and 3 to 1 because of the roof of the woods. So it is 3 to 1. Oh, fantastic! 3 to 1 and 2. This is B2. So each of these units will suffer 2 losses because of the unable to retreat. And now I will roll for the losses after combat. So this will be 41, 45. 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So it's 21, 25, and 10, 2 additional losses. Okay, and now American losses. They had 6, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 26, 30, and 6, 2 losses on for Americans. Okay, this is also hard, but we are definitely going somewhere. So, it was really devastating for Japanese forces, and you can see that there is very little remains on them, and still they are trying to defend. They are fighting for their emperor, so they are not willing to surrender, just like in the history. So this artillery retreats somewhere here. They are fortifying this part, and that's all for them. And now we are moving into the night turn. So night turn. Americans are moving these guns. And now this battalion will fortify itself. the question is now, they are mostly very weak units, so maybe I should try to attack them, even if I know that I will probably suffer some losses, but they will be probably eliminated. I guess so. There is still a chance. So these two battalions will go here. They will go here, and I will try my night attacks here. I won't attack there, but I will try to get rid of them. We'll see if I can. So first here, remember this is night attack, so they have their strength halved, so they have 2 and they have 2. So I have 4 versus 1, so this is 4 to 1 and 3 to 1, 2 to 1. Good. 2 to 1 and 3. This is B2. So they retreat 2 hexes. 1, 2. This battalion will follow, and this will and this will follow as well. So now let's check for losses. Americans had 4. So this is column of 1. No losses. Verse of 1. No losses for Japanese units, and American losses. No losses as well. Okay. At last we made closer. Now here, how many points this unit have? Let me check. 2. So I have to check for their own strength. If I will get 10 to 1, let me check. 3. They have 1. They have 4. So it's 2. So it's 1, 3, 6. 8, 9, and 10, 12, and 13. So it's 13 versus 2, so it's 6 to 1, 7 to 1 because of the combat engineers, 6 to 1 because of the fortification, 5 to 1 because of the village, and 4 to 1 because of the roof terrain. So it's 4 to 1 and 5. This is B2. So they suffer 2 losses, and because of that they still have 1 point left. Okay, so let's check for their strength, for the losses after combat. They had 13 and 1, 2, 3, 9. No losses for Japanese unit. Oh, I forgot. I totally forgot to roll for night attack modifiers. Sorry, me wrong. So let me roll now. It will be 1. So these American units will suffer 1 additional loss because of this roll. And now I will roll for the losses after combat. So now it will be 1, 2, and 1, 2, 3, 11, 15, and 8. Another loss for Americans. So that attack wasn't as successful as previously. So that's all for the night attacks for Americans, and I go to Japanese units. So they retreat here into this mountain, and all of the other units stay there. Americans are not launching any counterattacks, they cannot, after all. So that's all when it comes to this day. We will go to the next day. I think we are getting closer to the end. At last, we have a very limited Japanese groups fighting here and there, so I should be able to get them in the 1 or 2 days, I hope so, but we will see. So, this is the 12th day of the battle. Let's make a roll to see the weather. It is 4, so this weather is still good, that's great. We can use our air support in its full strength. So let's go to the American movement phase. Now they are going to attack here, and they are going to attack there, and they are going to make their attacks here. I wonder if I should move my artillery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So yes, 1.5, 2, 3, 4. I will mark them as moved to remember that they made this movement. And I have a couple of artillery units here. They will be needed to get rid of them. And as for these attacks, I will use my air support, hoping it will be enough. And well, that's all. We don't have much else to do. This is going to end quickly, I hope. So let's go and carry on all these attacks. So all this big stack attacks here, and Japan has let me count 1 and 2. So they have 3 and I have 5 plus 8. I won't use these anti-tank units because there are no tank units on the Japanese side. So it's 8, 11, 15, 18, 22, and 26. So they have 26 versus 3. So this is going to be 8-1, 9-1, 10-1 because of the stars, 9-1 and 8-1 because of the terrain and fortifications. So this is 8-1 and 7 in the 8-1. This is B2. So they are retreating 2 hexes, 1 and 2. Americans are moving here, and I cannot move my mechanized units here, so I will go with infantry there, and all the other units will go here. Okay, so that's all. Now let's calculate the losses. It was 26-30 plus 1, 2 and minus 2, so the same row. Oh, 7, 7, it is 2. So these units suffer 2 losses. And Americans, they had Japanese forces had 3 and 6, no losses. Okay, this should be here. That attack. I will take 3, 8, and now 11 and 15. So I have 15 versus 3. So it is 5-1, 4-1, 3-1, 2-1. So it is 2-1 and 4. So B2. Great. And now they can retreat 1 and 2. And since they moved through the friendly unit, which is already in the enemy zone of control, and they can retreat, but they have to suffer 1 point because of that. So these Americans are making their advance here. And now let's calculate the losses. Americans had 15 and it was minus 2. So it is 4, 5 and 8. No losses on Japan's side. And Japanese unit had 3 and plus 2, it's 6, 10 and 5, 1 loss for Americans. Whew. How many points they have? 255, 1 point. Okay, so I can tell this is going to be 10-1 without even calculating. So 7, this is B3, so they have to suffer 3 losses, and they had 1 point, so they are done. But let's roll for American losses. They had 1 point, and 1, 2 because of the village, and 3 because of the terrain. So it's 1 plus 3, so it's 6, 10. Wow! Americans suffered 2 losses, so they sold their lives for the great price. And now that attack. So what do we have here? these two ship groups, so they have, let's check. Oh, they failed to hit. So let's make a roll to see which hex. 1, 2, 3. Oh, shit. Yes, we have a friendly fire here. So let me count how many points these American units had, because they were hit by their own artillery. So this is 4, and this is 8 and 10. So they have 10. So we will use a table for units with a strength 10, 16, and attacker with 7, 10, and there is minus 2, minus 1 because of the terrain, and minus 1 because of the fortification. Oh, just one hit. Okay, not bad. Okay, so we cannot use this group. Now that group. Okay, they hit properly. So I have 7, 6, 12, 18, and 24. So it's 24 plus 10, 34, and plus, wait, plus 9. So it's 33, and, oh, plus 2, so it's 35. So I have 35 versus 2 and 3. So it is 10 to 1. And we have 9 to 1 because of the fortification, 8 to 1 because of the village, and 7 to 1 because of the woods. So 7 to 1 and 10. This is 10, 10, so it's B2. So each of them has to suffer 2 losses because of no retreat available. And now losses after combat. Americans had 31, 35, and now minus 1, 2, and 3. And plus 1, no, it's only minus 3, so it's 16, 20, and 6, 1 loss. We'll see if it will be enough to destroy them. And now American losses, they had 3 and 1, 2, 3, so it's 11, 15, and 2. Ooh. So these are impressive losses. I have to say that they are dying, but they are not dying for nothing. They are taking many of their enemies with them. So we can remove these air units and let's include all these losses. Okay, so you can see that all the Japanese units are done. We have to get rid of them. So what Japanese units are going to do now? Well, little they can. They are fortifying here, and they are fortifying there. So that's all. Let's go to the night turn. Okay, and we have night turn. Do I want to attack at night? I think no. I will simply move my units closer. Artillery won't be in range. That's bad. And as for them, they will fortify themselves. I mean, I am close to the end, so I don't want to suffer additional losses. I don't need to hurry, because I am 3 days from the first day that I'm going to get my victory points. So this should be enough to get rid of them and to get the maximum number of victory points. Of course, it will be reduced by the number of my losses and the reinforcements I used, but I think still it's pretty good. So let's go. This is going to be everything in the night turn, so we are going to the next day, and let's roll for the weather. 7, this is good weather, that's good, because we'll be able to attack with our full strength. So they are moving here. 1, 2, they are going to join them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now these units are pretty weak. Save to them. This artillery has enemy in range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, it doesn't have to move. That's good. Now 1, 2, 3. Oh, and I think that's all here. This artillery hasn't anyone in range, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They moved. 1, 1.5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. They also moved. These tanks right here. So that should be all when it comes to the American movement. I don't even count for Japanese Japanese counterattacks, because you can tell that there is no chance. And I will give air support here and there. So let's go and carry on all these attacks. I will start with a middle one. What do I have here? 2, 6, and 9. So they have 9. These huge stacks. So 9. I will take 3, so it's 12. And I will try to get one of my naval support. This one with a strength of 6. Oh, another miss. And let's hope it won't be friendly fire again. 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, they hit this hex, so they hit Japanese forces. Let's see how hard they hit him. They are pretty weak, I believe. They have 3 and 2, so they have 5, so they are not a very strong group. Let's check, and they have -2 for the terrain and +2 because of the heavy artillery, so it is 4. So they lost 2 points. That's good. I will include this, and they are used. Okay, so I have 15. Sorry, 12. They had 9, and there was 3, so it's 12 versus this unit had 1. Oh, this is 10-1 and 8-1 because of the terrain. 7 in the 8-1. This is B2. So they can retreat just here, and they cannot retreat anywhere else. So they suffer 1 point. I think they are eliminated then. Yes, they are eliminated. So I can make my pursuit 1, 2, 3 like that. Okay, and let's roll for American losses. They had 1 and +2, so it's 4, 5, 1 loss for Americans. Now here, this is going to be big stack. So let me check. They have 3, 6, 10, 12, 15, 19. So they have 19. 19 plus 5, it's 24. 24 plus 3, is 27. So this is 27 versus 1 and 3. So it's 27 versus 4. So this is going to be 27 versus 4. It's 7-1. 8-1 because of the combat engineers, 7-1 because of the fortification, and 6-1 because of the woods. So it is 6-1 and 6. This is B2, so they will have to suffer 2 losses. Each of them will have to suffer 2 losses because of no retreat option. And now losses after combat, it was 26-30, minus 1, 2, so it's 60-20, and 10, another 2 losses. Wonder if it's enough to destroy them, but we will see. And now our last attack, they have 3, 6, 10, and 14. 14 plus 3 is 17. 17 plus 5 is 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 22 plus 5 is 27. So we have 27 versus, and I need to check to reduce them by this by 2. So it's 27 versus 3. So it's 9-1 and 10-1 because of the I have to they can fire at these guns first. So let's roll for these tanks. They can fire once with 7 and plus 1. This is a miss. Okay, so and it was 27 versus 3, so 9-1, 10-1 because of the stars, and 8-1 because of the terrain. So it's 8-1 and 7. This is B2, so they can retreat only 1 hex, and they have to suffer 1 loss each, and this artillery suffers 1 loss because of 1 hex of retreat, so it is eliminated. Americans are moving here, and now let's check for losses after combat. So they had 27, so it's 26-30, plus 1, 2 for the stars, minus 2 because of the terrain, 7, 2 losses. And Japanese units had 3, plus 2 and minus 2, so it's 2, 3, no losses for Americans. Okay, I wonder if it means the end. I will have to calculate the loss, count the losses to see if they are eliminated. So yes, this is the end of the battle. Now you can, if you want, you can check. This is my sheet with all the losses of the American and Japanese units. Well, you can tell the difference, and now I will have to check of how many points I have and how many points I need to lose. So I won this battle at 27 of June, so I get 200 victory points. That's pretty good, but now I have to reduce this number by the 2 factors. First are the strength points that American unit lost during the combat, and next is the number of the units that I get as reinforcements during the game. So I need to do it now. Okay, I have 200 victory points, and now I had to reduce this number by 48. This is the number of American of the strength points that American units lost. So this is 152, and now by the 12, and this is the number of the units that I introduced. So it was 142 minus 12, so it's 136. So it is more than 100, so this counts as a great victory. Okay, so we managed to win this battle, I think, easily. And now, what are my final thoughts? I think that I played pretty good as American commander. All my plans worked. Well, I think that luck was on my side. I had many good rolls and not that many bad rolls. Especially bad rolls. You can tell by using of the naval support there is still that danger of friendly fire, and I think I had only 1 or 2 situations when my guns really hit my own units. So that's pretty good. there were two things I needed more than anything else, and this worked. It was my artillery. It provided me very much of support. Not even tanks provide me as much support as artillery. And second, combat engineers. They are maybe not very strong because they only have 3 points left, but they can provide you a modifier for each combat. They don't provide you a modifier for losses. This is a major difference that you have to remember about. But even so, they are very useful when you are fighting on such small terrain and you want to push enemy onto positions he cannot retreat from. So that's where these combat engineers were pretty handy and useful. And when it comes to the Japanese side, well, they lost very quickly. I think too quickly, and I wonder what I did wrong. Maybe I should try to withdraw from this area more faster. I let American units cut off some of my units here, there, and there, and because of that these units were destroyed easily. I think I should evacuate them in the middle of the island. They would be able to make good use of terrain and defend themselves longer. And this could make the game much harder for Americans and maybe effectively reduce the number of the victory points that Americans will get. But, well, that's all when it comes to this battle. Thank you for watching. That was pretty long series, yes, and see you next time.